Alright, so we woke up this morning to a frigid 41 degrees, which was much colder than we thought this trip would get, but we had the clothes for it and we're just all cocooned up in these hammocks. They're 20-degree setups, so we're feeling really good. But check out this morning view.
How's that for something to wake up to? Sunrise over Lake Superior. Beautiful. With some fog coming up off, or some steam coming up off the lake.
Gorgeous. So we're staying in these hammocks for a little bit. It's almost 8 and we only have like an hour of hiking to do into Rock Harbor, so we're gonna stay in here for a little bit and then have some coffee. Just bars and coffee for breakfast this morning. We're too lazy to eat real food and we want to get going into Rock Harbor, but how about that view with a little coffee? Nice final morning here on Superior. Then we're going into town, hiking into town. And then the weather is much nicer today than when we first got there. So I just put on a fresh pair of socks and it was officially the best feeling in the world. Clean pair of socks on the last day. Oh, warm Smart Wolves, or warm Darn Toughs, not Smart Wolves. And the shoes are fairly dry. And here's the last little glimpse of Lake Superior before we hiked 3 miles back into town. And it's gonna be the same 3 miles we hiked out of town, but this time it'll be sunny and dry and it won't be windy, rainy, and wet. All walking along these rock bases, so it should be really nice. Nice view of 3-mile with the dock right there before we head out. And this place is busy. All the shelters, and I think all the campsites were taken too. Just hiking now along this trail that kind of weaves along the coastline for 3 miles. It's really nice. Wow. Cool. This is the trail along this rock. It's on this rocky shoreline, but you get just beautiful views. The entire trail is along the coast here, and hiking out of Rock Harbor it was terrible because it was windy and rainy and all these rocks were wet and slippery, so it took forever. But now it's real nice. You just stop and you get these beautiful views of Superior. And we shouldn't have issues with the ferry today. It's smooth sailing. Alright, we're coming into the Rock Harbor campground. Start hearing people's voices. Beautiful day. It figures the last day is the nicest weather. But that means the ferry will be here. So when you finish hiking here, you have to turn in your permit so they know you didn't die out there. So we're gonna do that, go to the bathroom, and then get a fresh, ice cold draft craft beer. Few of them, beers, plural. And then we've got a couple hours before our ferry comes to leave. So we're gonna go check out some of the sights and sounds of Rock Harbor and buy some trinkets for the wives. All right, so here's Ranger Station, general store.
We can set up our chairs out here.
Yeah, dock, restaurant. It's really nice today. Everyone's airing their stuff out. All right, what do you want to do first?
Do you want to go into the green first?
Yeah, let's ditch our packs. So as fate would have it, they don't start serving alcohol until noon. But degenerates like us. But it's 11:56, so we can wait 4 minutes. What are you going to eat? Burger? Do you want any starters? Going through those beers pretty fast. Just Finished lunch at the Greenstone Grill, and we got about an hour to kill. So that general store I shot some video of is really well equipped. In addition to having like all hiker supplies, they have a fantastic beer selection. So we're gonna drink a couple more here, little native Michigan beers before the ferry leaves, and we'll be back. This is a lot busier than our. That was a lot busier than our trip out here.
Yeah, this is the most I've ever seen. Like when I hiked it in 2011, there was cheap.
Oh wow. Alright, we are out.
We are finally back.
What a place.
Yeah, amazing.
So,
fantastic.
One thing we just learned was Isle Royale is the most revisited national park. So we're already planning our next trip here.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Just a fantastic place, and it really caters to backpacking.
Yeah, caters to anything, but
makes it easy.
Yeah.
You can show up there and better here.
So definitely check this place out. It's a little known place. It's not well heard of, but it's worth every hour it takes to get up there. So
yeah,
thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Yep.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for checking out our Isle Royale videos. We had a really good time filming them and kind of bringing you guys along. It's now been about two and a half weeks since we got back, and we just wanted to film a pretty quick little debrief. Just like all the thoughts we had about what we did and some
like lessons learned.
So take it away.
So let's talk about Isle Royale, and I want to talk about kind of the ease of like going backpacking there. Like a lot of national parks, you know, some of the more popular ones, there's an application process, a strict permit system that takes a lot of time in advance. The nice thing about Isle Royale... Not there. Isle Royale, you can walk onto the island and go backpacking. They make it really easy to get there and go. You don't need to do... There's no application process. You just show up. And you show up at the ranger station. They'll issue you your permits. And then you're good to go. So I think that was one really nice thing about Isle Royale, is that you can just go there and go backpacking and not necessarily have to worry about this giant application process that you have to do 6 months in advance. So I thought that was awesome. Now, one thing that Kevin and I did, which I actually think turned out to be a waste of time, is
Yeah, you don't need to do this.
we stopped in Houghton on the way up to Copper Harbor, and we actually picked up, we went to the Isle Royale, I think the ranger headquarters in Houghton, Michigan, and we picked up a national park permit to try to save time when we got onto the island.
It didn't save any time.
It didn't save any time.
If it was super busy, it probably would have saved you like 10 minutes, but like you could buy the permit on the island at the exact same time you pick up your backpacking permit. So that was not a time saver for us.
Yeah, and so it's just easier just to get to the island and buy everything there. I think overall the hammocking, it was okay.
It was okay. Isle Royale is not built for hammock campers. Now we did 6 nights there, and we were able to hammock camp every night. It certainly wasn't easy, but I think I was thinking about this yesterday. If when we go back, it would be worth looking into like a double layer hammock with a pad system, or just a single layer with a pad. Just taking a pad instead of an underquilt, because it does give you the option to use one of those shelters. And like there were a couple days, you know, it was raining and stuff, and it would have been nice to just park up inside one of those. And they're big, so don't be afraid to hammock camp there. We never had issues. Now I will say some of the sites, it would have been difficult to put up more than 2 hammocks, but if you're going with 2 hammocks, there weren't any issues.
You also cannot hammock on birch trees, so that was one of their regulations.
There's a couple campsites that we didn't go there that only have birch trees, so just know that. But it was cool to see them like address hammock camping in the little debrief we got when we got on the island. So hammock camping is getting, You know, it's getting big enough to people are starting to recognize it. But don't be afraid to take your hammocks. But if you can, consider bringing a pad system, just so you have the option to go hole up in one of the shelters, especially if the rain gets bad.
Yeah. So let's talk about fishing a little bit, because we talked.
Fish when you're there.
Yeah, fish when you're there. There were a couple of forums that we read on, and a couple. I think we read in like a book or two. It's like you're stupid if you don't go there and not fish. So definitely take fishing gear. If you put in the time, you will be rewarded. Obviously, if you were in a canoe, a kayak, maybe a pack raft, your fishing experience is probably going to be a lot more tremendous than ours was. But yeah, put in the time. You don't need a permit for the inland lakes. You do need it for the bays and anything on Lake Superior. You need the Michigan fishing license.
And I will say, probably half the people going to Isle Royale were going there to use either a canoe or a kayak or something. So consider that. I mean, it's a cool place to kayak, canoe, pack raft, because half the campgrounds you can only get to by some sort of watercraft. So that's something we would consider going back to. It's a perfect place for a pack raft. Literally a perfect place for a pack raft.
There's a great convenience store there. The convenience store had actually pretty nice camping equipment, a lot of little food and snacks. They had mountain houses. They had a really good selection of fishing gear too.
They had a lot more stuff in that store than we expected.
Yeah, and the prices were fine. Some people were saying that the prices were really high, which could be expected because they have to, import all that stuff onto the island. But when I was looking at the prices of everything, it was all normal. And then they had a great selection of Michigan microbrews.
Yeah, so if you do forget something or if you need to pick something up, don't worry. That general store will probably have you covered.
Yeah.
And you could resupply. It'd be expensive, but you could do an entire resupply from that store.
You could, in theory, if you wanted to. If you were just gonna eat like mountain houses and other like snacks, they had like I think they had ramen. They had like Easy Mac.
They had a bunch of through hiker stuff.
Yeah. So you could definitely like walk onto the island and spend a bunch of money and buy a bunch of food and be okay. We talk a lot in our videos about how people are there for a long period of time, and we know why. 1 week on the island is not enough time.
It's not enough. You'll see, we saw maybe 50% of the island, and we were there for 7 days.
Yeah, 2 weeks, we would have liked to have 2 weeks to see more of the island, and then you could set up a resupply at Rock Harbor or at Wendigo. You can send, thanks to the person who made the comment that you could actually
I don't know if you can mail it there, but you can bring it there. You can definitely bring it when you arrive on the island and have it like I don't know if you can mail it there, but you can definitely bring a resupply, or there's a way to have a resupply package there for you.
Yeah. Also want to talk, so we went, the time of year we chose is we wanted to have a little bit cooler weather, which we definitely got, and we wanted to avoid the bugs. So the bugs were definitely there. Like the mosquitoes were there. They weren't terrible, and since it was a little cooler out, we were constantly covered up, but the mosquitoes were out.
They were there, and some black flies. So I still think this is a really good time to go.
Yeah.
There's not as many people. There's still a decent amount of people. Maybe even a week or two later than, like maybe even like right now when the leaves are changing, and I don't know, it'd be really cold though.
Yeah, and we were planning on the weather to be a lot warmer than it was. It obviously wasn't, so take that into account. Of course.
Plan for that. I mean, the day we left, the lowest temperature on the 10-day was like 57 degrees or 56 degrees, and when we hiked out, it was 42. So, and you don't have cell service or anything, so weather can change. So just plan on that. And you're on Superior, so these storms can just roll in whenever. So. That's it, everyone. It was an awesome place. We'll definitely go back. We learned a lot, and look, if you're planning to go to Isle Royale, check out these tips. Isle
Royale has a forum called Isle Royale Forums. It's not
It's
heavily
a really good
used,
resource,
but there's a lot of information on there, and it's just a really nice place, and logistically, when you get on the island, it's easy to backpack there. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Go there.
Yeah, go there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.